Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of an In-N-Out burger. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Monday, August 3rd, 2026, and this right here, the thing that you are watching, is called the TNAM Daily Show here on the new American media, because the old American media has failed us. We're going to talk about what happened outside of that In-N-Out burger. An attack, what would you do? Are you trained? Are you comfortable? Do you have a plan? Well, one American hero jumped in with a plan very quickly. And many people think it saved lives. It probably did. To what extent is a lot of hypothetical, of course. But I am here also to tell you that I had two glitches today. Every day it's something, it seems like, here at the New American Media. When I say glitches, I mean attempts by the big tech overlords to silence the New American Media. I believe they took down a post of ours because they claimed self-harm or something. And so they said, you're no longer, nobody under 18 can see your information anymore. I said, I didn't have anything about self-harm. What the hell's wrong with you? I know there's some people out there with very short-lived accounts that want to encourage people to harm themselves, and having a psychology degree myself, I would never suggest such things. In fact, there's somebody that I've had some recent conversations with who I tried to provide some uplifting, beneficial counsel to regarding some necessary changes that needed to happen in this person's life. And I got some positive feedback, some updates that things it appears as though the vehicle that had been off track has found its way back up onto solid footing again. I mean, the way it was going, bouncing around on the grass on the side of the freeway, there's just a matter of time before you hit a creek, a rock, a tree, broke your axle. So no, we would never encourage anything like that. I think they were referring to the monster gunman who was taken out. I believe the story is that there was a police officer involved shooting, and then the Good Samaritan showed up with his shooting. By the way, imagine yourself at a campfire. Hey, anybody want to play a song on the guitar? Well, I got a guitar in my closet. Here you go. Well, I don't know how to play the guitar. Okay, move along. Just because you might have some gear, if you don't know how to use it, and if you're not trained, it's not going to do you any good. You need to be out and about. You need to be protecting yourself and your local community, because when seconds count, police are only minutes away. Guns save lives and police clean crime scenes. So yeah, Instagram put a restriction on our account today. And they don't let you talk to anybody. They don't let you appeal anything. They are the worst company. We're monetized on multiple platforms, not on Instagram, not on Facebook. Hey, some people are doing great. Kudos to you. But we rely on the support of viewers like you. Special thanks to Sam, who got the sample pack. I guess we'll just run a special. How about that? This, the New American Media mug. 2 sets of coasters for the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. By the way, Strictly Football will be coming up very soon. I think we've already gone through the last week without football. Very happy to have it back. And a pin for the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. These are normally $30. There's a set of 4 wooden Ohio-made coasters for our sports show. $30. That includes shipping. $30 Ohio-shaped or circle-shaped, or 2 for $50. $25 for the pin. $40 for the mug. If you want anything individually, shoot me a Venmo, BRIANENGELMAN at the bottom of the screen. There we go. We'll put that there. Just confirm it's me. Spell the name correctly. ENGELMAN. And it's a new month, so thank you to everybody who made July a solid month. I actually have to take a look at the analytics, but it was right among the top months that we've had. So please invite your friends. Hit the thumbs up. However you're watching today's program, make sure you smash the thumbs up button right now. Just hit the thumbs up. But yeah, it's a new month, and it's a new chance to encourage you to consider subscribing to the New American Media on Patreon. Just type in the New American Media. Rumble subscription, YouTube subscription. We have subscribers on each platform, and that's a way to directly fund the New American Media. This is normally where I do an ad read for coffee or pillows or Egyptian sheets, high thread count, or survival seeds, or a battery bank or something like that. But I just take a moment to say thank you to the people who have been supporting us for the past 15 and a half years at the New American Media. And just a reminder, please consider going to one of those 3 sites, YouTube, Rumble, or Patreon, and becoming a monthly subscriber. You can do $1,000, $500, $100, $50, $15, $5 a month, as little as $5 a month. You can help us out. So if you want some merch, shoot me a Venmo with your address and exactly what you want. We'll do the 1, 2, 3. We'll do the 4-pack for $100. How about that? Because that's exactly what we sent Sam. Your generous donations help keep the lights on here. Oh, speaking of, watch this. Now I have light from this direction. It wasn't turned on. But yeah, we had an Instagram glitch at the beginning of the show, and then we had a Rumble glitch where it really wasn't loading, and I wasn't certain if we were going to be broadcasting. But it appears we are. And in fact, Patriot Warrior over there on Rumble says, "Oh, cool. You are YouTube featured again. Can you tag us on X, do a screenshot of that and share? We'll give YouTube some love and invite some people out to check out the show today." But yeah, turn your notifications bell on. Follow us in all the places. We're also going to talk about, there's a grab bag of stories every day. So whatever's happened in the past few days, we're going to scroll through social media together. My name's Brian. I'm going to be your bartender today. We're going to talk about all the stories on the screens behind me. Give me your jokes in the comments section. Give us your questions, your feedback. Keep the debate mostly civil. The name of this show was officially called Agree to Disagree for a very long time. We've sort of pivoted into the TNAM Daily Show, TNAM, the New American Media, because the news always matters. But it's sort of the same concept. Now, Agree to Disagree is me with a one-on-one interview with somebody. The TNAM Daily Show is unpacking the news, all of the stuff. But yeah, go back. We're coming up somewhere close to 2,000 videos over 15 years. I don't know, maybe we're at 1,800. I was looking on YouTube. I couldn't figure out where to click to find the total videos the other day, but I digress. The search for truth is not something that you complete, cross off the checklist, and move along. The next day brings new stuff that might be garbaggio. And it's up to us, the TNAM Trash Pandas, to knock those garbage cans over, grab our little raccoon hands and pull the lid off and rifle through and go, oh my gosh, look at all this. There's great stuff in here. In college, I had a lot of items in some bags that I moved from a previous place. And after a party one time, somebody grabbed those bags and chucked them in the trash. If you open them up, you're like, this is brand new bedding. These are perfect. There's nothing wrong with these. We're behind a grocery store. It's all perfect produce, and it just passed an expiration date, but it's all like totally good, usable stuff. Like, we don't need to be throwing this stuff out. It's usable. Grab it. Waste not, want not. Spend not, go into debt not, But each day in the news, we knock down a garbage can and we're like, oh my gosh, there's great stuff in here. Sometimes we're inspired. Sometimes we open up a bag and you recoil and say, I question why I'm even looking in social media today. Because it's the sewer, it's the trash, it's the rubbish. Sometimes. But it's just the news. It's the things that are going on. The serious stories help you think about a plan that you could employ if the worst case scenario ever happens around you. It gives us a chance to work it through in our heads, what we would do, what we should do, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, and ways to prepare. That could be getting in better physical condition, financial position, mental position, spiritual position, strategical position, interconnected relationship position. There's a lot of different things we could be up to. You know, different scenarios that could face us, different levels that we find ourselves at, but we could always probably level up a little bit. And so that's what I'm hoping to do here on the TNAM Daily Show. Hello to Leanne and Mark in chat, Marion. Did I say David? Look a Cook, Patriot Warrior, everybody smash the thumbs up button and hit the arrow. Share this show with a friend. Share this show onto X or Facebook and just be like, hey, we're unpacking the news together. Join our live show. I'll see you in chat. Like, help us promote the show. We want every seat in this bar filled up. And it's going to be up to you. If you enjoy the show, you got to tell people. If you enjoy the show, you got to support it with some merch or a Rumble Rant tip or a Super Chat tip. And by the way, you don't have to do any of that. But if we are going to get to the location that we're aiming at, we're not doing it on our own. We cannot do it on our own. We need a groundswell of regulars here at this bar to keep this place open and keep the lights on. You know, I think we've got a pretty decent track record of trying to ask important questions in an intellectually honest way, despite what somebody around me said pseudo recently, and I called him to task for that. This person pegs every negative issue in the world on Israel. And I'm open to listening, but I don't quite see the evidence of every single thing they're saying. So the response to me was that I'm being intellectually dishonest. And you see a split in MAGA. Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, if you could call him MAGA, Candace Owens, Tim Dillon. I don't know. Who do you want to go down the laundry list on and say it's essentially because, well, the common parlance in politics would say something along the lines of, it's the economy, stupid. It's the economy, stupid. That's what this is about. Well, it's Israel, stupid. It's Israel, stupid. Okay, I hear what you're saying. I think too much influence from anybody is something worth concern. Now, tell me why it made your cereal soggy and why you couldn't find your left shoe. Behind every blade of grass is a little hat-wearing person who's up to no good. Say some people. You got to give me more if you want me to go agree with you on that far of a journey. But yeah, just because of some disagreements in policy and not willing to go 100% and say, nope, there's no way Charlie Kirk was this or that, or Iran was absolutely this, and Trump is Bibi's puppet. I remember 8 years ago, Trump is Putin's puppet. Okay, and he's also a rogue. Don't forget, he's also a cowboy. He runs roughshod over the Constitution. He's a tyrant. He's a dictator. He does whatever he wants with no checks and balances. But he's controlled by Putin. But he's controlled by Netanyahu and Israel. And the Jews, say some people. Or he's controlled by, it's all narcissism. It's all narcissism. Okay. I can understand some points that are being made with all the arrows aiming in that direction. I'm just taking this issue by issue, one at a time. If you think we got something wrong, say it respectfully in the comments. You know, We used to be called the Agree to Disagree Show. Now it's the TNAM Daily Show. We're allowed to agree to disagree. Make a different point. Just keep it mostly civil. That's all we demand. We don't ask. We demand that we keep it mostly civil. There you go. Cletus says the Israel thing isn't about Jews. It's about Zionists. And they are not Jews. Now, this is where the conversation gets fun. Define Zionist. By the way, black and white race relations and anything Jew are my two least favorite topics to yammer on and 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 on about. Phenomenon, do 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 do. It's not a Jew, do 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 do. Phenomenon, do do. It's racist. It's racist. It's racist. It's racist. 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 Do 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 do. It's a hamster wheel of hate. I can't stand the black-white race issue. It's just the lying legacy media, Democrat Party, teachers union, anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-straight, anti-male hate that's been percolating through our curricula, through our advertising, through our programming that you think is the media, the lying legacy media. They've been on a 30-year campaign to just attack anything that's straight or white or Christian or male or Republican. Got it. And then the Jew stuff, it's over there. But one definition of Zionism is a person who believes that the nation of Israel should exist. At some definitions, and I'm not trying to be coy, I'm not trying to be a smartass, I'm not trying to tightrope anything. Define Zionist. Some people say that's just the people who believe that the nation of Israel should exist. Or you're just on the other camp and you slur, you hurl names at, you're a Zionist. You're a Zionist. Well, what does that mean? Well, they think they have it better than you. And they think they're better than you because their God is taking them to their heaven. You mean like Islam and Christianity and every religion? They think they have their answer. It's a matter of how much control and power they exert. And of course, Epstein being in the middle of all of this honeypot, get you caught in a spider web. And now we got blackmail and bribe material. It's going to either force you, compel you. Well, I guess force and compulsion are the same. Bribe you. We'll make a deal. We could either destroy you for free, or you could make a few bucks and just do what we want. Thomas Massie booted from Congress. One of the main voices, Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the main voices calling out AIPAC and the amount of power and control. That simmers. That's an issue that happens every day. I scroll across posts. I read interesting points. I read bullshit. I read really good points from every perspective. But we welcome honest, Fauci on the stand last week should have made your blood boil, and you're still allowed to be angry about it. I'm sure I'll probably scroll through a couple stories today that will remind us of some of the stupidity from 2019 to now, lest we ever repeat that nonsense again. There will be another pandemic. And we don't want to succumb to the same tricks, tactics, and strong arm techniques. Nobody likes to be forced into doing anything. And we were right. We were right to have our questions, and Fauci lied to us over and over and over again. By the way, since I just got smacked on the wrist on Instagram, under duress, that's what this 2 fingers to the side of my temple is conveying. No, Instagram, this is not self-harm. This is that I'm being compelled by social media companies like you to put the following disclaimer at the bottom of the screen. To go get countervailing views on anything regarding health, COVID, vaccines, or the 2020 election validity, go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control for countervailing views to anything I might say. Are we adults enough to have a conversation? Because what Fauci and the lying legacy media and the Democrats and the rhinos all came together on with COVID was, look, We are the science. I represent science. I think that was the exact quote as I had Grok look it up. That could be off, but that's what Grok told me was his main quote. He didn't say, I am science or I am the science. He says, I represent science. We'll play you some clips with Bobby Kennedy talking to Dana Bash, one of the most corrupt deep state hacks, propagandists out there. No. We don't want your settled science. We want robust conversation, accusation, and defense. We want the debate. Iron sharpens iron. You don't need a hot butter knife ripping through that stick of butter. We need a conversation. We need to mix the flour and water together. That's not how they've played their cards. That's not how the deep state has acted. And it's important that we recognize where we are. Will there be a cyber attack next? Something else invisible? You couldn't see COVID, but you had to lock everything down just in case. Well, what if the power grid stops working? Do you have a plan for that? If you're at In-N-Out Burger getting a burger and somebody opens fire, do you have a plan for that? This is a time to take stock of where you are. It is why I am launching my new company, Build Your Own Bug Out Bag. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But mainly as a way for you to get a backpack full of supplies. And there's no one backpack that's going to get you everything you need. Only you have your dog medication and your cat food. Only you have the specific items that you can put in Ziploc bags from your pantry or from your toiletry closet. You know what you're going to need for your situation. And you're going to have to get your own documents in order and get a copy in there. Get your maps, get your battery chargers, your solar panels. We can get you started with some of the things. And we want to kind of put different price points out there where you can build it yourself. But yeah, going to get a hamburger and fries should not mean that you're at a shooting range. But you see that the Good Samaritan jumping in might have saved significant numbers of lives, which is what we always promote here at the New American Media. I'm speaking to you directly, Instagram. I know you don't listen. You won't let us appeal anything. You won't remedy situations with the opportunity to speak with somebody at your company and talk things through. And, well, what do we have here? It's just they issue an edict and you're done. And that's really no way to run a company. But I'm about helping people get their lives back on track. I'm about protecting families from madmen and chaos and demons out there. And personally protecting your well-being, your soul, your physicality, your finances, just trying to level up, trying to just get through it together. No, we don't encourage self-harm, Instagram. You're out of your flipping minds. And if that demon took himself out at the end of that interaction, that's on him. And that's part of a breaking news story that we're supposed to be able to talk about because we're adults. Well, maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe you talk about adult content and people under 18 shouldn't be exposed to it. I don't think we showed graphic video of the person taking himself out. I believe there might have been text talking about the person that took himself out, and that was enough to flag our account and limit our reach. Well, once again, we're doing what we can on these Garbaggio platforms, but we do call on your direct support. Rumble Rant tip, Super Chat tip, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all that stuff scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So thank you all for being here this Monday. Tell me in chat, what was the highlight of your weekend and what are you looking forward to this week? 2 questions, QOTD. What was the highlight of your weekend and what are you looking forward to this week? We'll try to read some of those comments into the show. So buckle up, Buttercups. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
All right, everybody, let's get into comments. Mark says, are you still in Cali, Brian? I started the New American Media while I lived in Los Angeles. I no longer live in Los Angeles. I escaped a few years ago. And had the state been sane, I probably would have kept ties open. Everything could be different if they had competent leadership out there. The district attorneys weren't arresting the bad guys, so they kept reoffending and just terrorizing our neighborhoods. Crime, graffiti, drugs, violence, theft, over and 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 over again. We don't have to live like this. It's a choice. And the Democrat district attorneys decided to act that way. The state put limitations on what the local officials could do to help. And in some cases they did help, but yeah, that COVID hardship stuff and things got really weird with the lockdowns. And I couldn't feel more blessed that I was able to get out when I did. No, I am no longer in California. Thank you everybody for being here. Buzzing through comments, seeing if there's anything I missed. Yeah, Mark says, what is it? The devil, God's chosen people, clearly. Well, yeah, I mean, anybody with a religious practice thinks you are chosen by God because you picked the right one. You know, I go with Christian. That's where I have my camp, and I have no desire to behead somebody if they don't believe me. You know, I'm not going to try to conquer their territory and convert anybody. I don't think real conversions happen through violence. I think threats and intimidation, you know, anybody that's going to agree to something like that, it's under duress, you know, a forced confession. Well, they're being tortured and they said that they did something. They're trying to make the pain stop. That's not a confession. That's a human condition. So yeah, I think everybody who found some sort of spiritual practice thinks they're the chosen people. But yeah, that is a big slur for that little country over there that many don't like hearing, along with the term Goyim. Mark says, point to a Zionist Jew. So yeah, there are a lot of Jewish folks out there who don't believe that the state of a nation state, or however you want to phrase it, the country of Israel should exist. Cletus says they believe in Israel as the homeland as designated to them in the Bible. Yes, this was promised to me thousands of years ago, they say. But they don't share a bloodline with the people referred to in the Bible. Yeah, this conversation you got to keep peeling back layers of the cabbage on this one. Why would Fauci make my blood boil? It's all kayfabe, BS entertainment. Yeah, the biggest disappointment in the Trump administration is a lack of indictments, 100%. Kayfabe is like Jesse Ventura and Hulk Hogan going out there and battling. They're on the same team. They work for the same company. They're not really trying to hurt each other. They're trying to sell a performance. They want to take everybody's money and get half the people cheering, half the people booing, or, you know, kind of do their thing. And end of the day, they're on the same team. Yeah, I don't like all this stuff. It's really disappointing the way that Fauci lied to us about almost everything important, and knowing the real world ramifications of having to bury my younger, healthier brother before his 40th birthday. That's nuts. So it feels like kayfabe if they're all covering each other's asses. But it's not necessarily the case, because Trump said try hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, monoclonal antibodies. Some of these things are showing some real progress. And so he was attacked by the teachers who wanted the long vacation, the media who wanted to make sure Trump didn't get reelected, and they wanted to sell as much fear to get people watching 24/7 with big Cryon. How do I spell that? CHRYLON? Could I have the country of origin, please? Lithuania. No, it's not. It could be. And the Democrats, of course, that didn't want Trump to get elected, so they all just ran the panic porn nonstop instead of saying, hey, why is Florida saying that they're having good results with monoclonal antibodies? What can we learn from this? How can we get this in people's hands? Oh, vitamin C, D, and zinc. It seems to be helping people boost their natural immunity, and that helps them survive or not even get it in the first place. Can we mail out high-quality doses to everybody across the country and just get everyone boosting their own natural immunity, their own immune system? Can we talk about the keys to reducing the obesity epidemic, because the super obese and we weren't talking about all these things. It was just like, take the jab. Sorry, that sounded like Trump. But I was trying to be a little bit more like Tony Fauci. I've had better Faucis. I think I got to get raspier, and I don't feel like getting raspy. I almost did my Jesse Ventura impression, and I'm like, I'm sort of closing my eyes and hearing Will Shasho do his Jesse Ventura impression. I used to do a good one, and I can do a good one. I just need to listen to him recently. Like, I need to listen to him fresh and say a few sentences as him, and then I find the cadence. But not feeling the voices so far. Leanne says COVID was manufactured. Yeah, in a lab in China, funded by Fauci. They lied about that. Because, hey, why would they want to face any repercussions, huh? Why would they want the finger being pointed at them? No, it was a wet market. A bat kissed a pangolin, you know. That's all it's about. Nothing to see here. It's probably naturally occurring. Mark says, the Hasidic Jews of New York say that the secular nation of Israel is an abomination before Almighty God. I've spoken with people that have said that in Chicago the day that my footage was corrupted. I deleted 2 files, and every one of my files disappeared. I don't know if the files were hiding on, like, zoomed in too close and they were off on the side of the screen. But, man, I filmed a lot of cool content in the 2024 Chicago convention, and that was really where Antifa, the Palestine anti-Israel group, was really yelling at their own Democrat Party. Marion, I wonder if my bidet attachment will fit in my bug out bag. I have duffel bags for that. I have duffel bags for like, they'll fold onto each other, but they will expand out and you can have a lot of room. I mean, I also have sleeping bags, and yeah, I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start doing build your own bug out bag. I'm going to put them up on Whatnot. You guys should come over and find us at Picking Winners Resale. I'm going to start putting some interesting stuff up there. I'm going to be blowing through some inventory, and build your own bug out bag is going to be maybe a daily occurrence. Like, I go live here, I'm going to go live there. Just got to kind of figure out shipping, and then maybe some will go on eBay or some. I'm still working out some of the details, but stay tuned. What's up, McCobston? Happy to have you. Mark asking, if data centers are so damn necessary and provide superior living, why do they need to be so secretive and bribe local officials? It's NIMBY, not in my backyard. We want it, but not here. I want a peaceful world, but I don't want to be wrapped up in a war. So everybody either gets to do what they've always been doing, or keep doing more, or keep doing worse, or you step in and you stop the bully. And yes, it's okay to be against the Islamic supremacist regime of Iran in the past 47 years of brutality and threats and intimidation and control of the energy market, and also be against getting sucked into some never-ending quagmire of a conflict. Nation building. The Jews got Trump into that because they got Epstein dirt on him. Can anyone show me any of that dirt? No court cases with Trump involving Epstein, no files with Epstein. Trump actually spoke with the prosecutors at length, I believe several hours, twice over 2 days in a row. We've played that clip for you before. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Weapons of mass destruction, Israeli nukes. We're falling for it again. Maybe. There's also a possibility of maybe not. It's hypothetically, theoretically possible. that things will get better across the board without that totalitarian regime anchoring that Strait of Hormuz and that whole entire energy sector. Ask Iran's neighbors who keep having their missiles exploding in their land. How happy are they? I don't think that place has a lot of neighbors that like them all that much. So it's not just about Trump being dumb. It's not just about Trump being bad. It's not just about the Jews holding his puppet strings. And look at how expensive gas is. It's such an embarrassment, such a disaster. Maybe you're right. Maybe some of those, all those, none of those. I don't know. You're right. Maybe. And also, there is a possibility that things will be better on the other side. But 90-something days out from a midterm, it's not a good time to be in the middle of a quagmire with higher energy prices than we had during BB, meaning before bombing, not Netanyahu, before bombing. Anyway, I digress. Ortho, welcome. Happy to have you here. And if I'm missing anybody, sorry, I'm trying to do some scrolling. Got a lot of comments this morning. Good to see you all. Wasn't Trump the linchpin for Epstein's prosecution in Florida? Yes, except the Jews or something. You have to hate Trump because the Jews control him or something, say some people. But Trump doesn't like Epstein. You could say they had a falling out. They were chummy, buddy. They were at events. They told jokes and cracked wise. And, hey, what about this? Or you hear about that? Or what's going on with this? And maybe we should that. And, yeah, it's schmoozing at parties. That's the whole point. You get your photographs with Ghislaine and Jeffrey, and now you're guilty by association. And you could infer a lot of stuff. But, yeah, it was the Florida prosecution of Epstein that took him down. Trump didn't like that guy. That guy was trying to steal his underage staff or his young staff and fly him down there. And I think Trump caught wind of what was going on and that Billy Clinton was addicted to the place. And I mean, Trump's the guy that has never touched drugs or alcohol or cigarettes in his lifetime. I mean, is it possible that he smelled a rat, that something was going on and he didn't like the guy? I don't know, maybe. Then we release all these Epstein files that are the most horrific thing we've ever seen. But any arrests? Ghislaine gets like special treatment. She gets moved to a nicer facility. It's a lot to reconcile. And then how many people really believe Epstein's not alive? Don't a lot of people think he's alive? Maybe he's Palm Beach Pete. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Hello in chat, Arn. Happy to see you. You could send that email to me with the numbers attached at your leisure. I haven't even logged in. I sort of disconnected from the internet. Some of you have to understand that going through the news on this consistent and regular basis, it will, the cup runneth over. And so doing a complete disconnect for a while is something that I'll do. But I will check the email, see if that's there. But if you're hearing me say this now and you haven't sent it yet, just send me whatever code you need, and I will go handle the thing. So all systems go, fire away, please. All right. Yes, everybody check in, hit the thumbs up button, and let's get into the stories in our stack. Share the Instagram screen here. Please follow us on Instagram, The New American Media. I know the site is kind of garbage and they like to censor me, but it is still a site and we still try to maintain normal guidelines here. And if we can get 32 followers, we can get our ability to share this program on Instagram Live. We would love to get that exposure. So we need more followers. Please invite your friends and ask them to join us. All right. Gotta move off chat so we can see this video here. Okay, Kristen Sokolov says, breaking, here's powerful footage dropping of Twin Falls, Idaho hero named Jordan Salinas, allegedly. Salinas spent years training for the exact moment that he stepped up and saved lives with pure courage under fire. This is what a real American who believes in the Second Amendment looks like. He deserves the highest civilian recognition for what he did. Take a watch. Yeah, and by the way, I don't try to make every show. I don't want to bring COVID and the loss of my brother, my bandmate, my roommate, my only sibling into all these stories. I've said a lot of what I need to say. But Chris, besides being a sommelier, which is really difficult to attain, he was an NRA certified instructor. I only got to train with him a few times. There are so many more training sessions that I should have participated in with him. And that bugs me. Because the talent, the skill, the knowledge, the teaching, explanation, the practice, the muscle memory, that's how you get good. That's how you become competent. Play the guitar for 10,000 hours and you're going to get good at it. Learn how to use your set of tools and you'll have a chance of surviving. Well, Chris did a lot of training, as did this guy. So take a watch at this video, the one who saved lives in Twin Falls, Idaho at the In-N-Out. You're going to see him. He's walking a few steps. He's in this top right box here. He's taking a few steps out, and then he approaches the camera with the target in sight, and he's just got a, all right, so now what? Pose. He goes from, all right, so now what? To action pretty doggone fast. And you see him here in the bottom left. There he is. Somebody filmed him. Take an aim. Yeah, okay, you're seeing all of it. It's not cropping anything. Taking aim. And saving the day. Watch him. Arms down. Click, click. Watch how quick he moves. He's moving on the bottom. Yeah, we should all be training this way. This is not self-harm. This is self-protection. This is self-defense. This is community defense. This is to be celebrated, not censored. This is to be celebrated, not censored. Instagram. I believe it was one of these posts, and maybe it was a similar one that you took down. But because that cowardly piece of crap shooter snuffed himself, you're saying that content had to be flagged and our account needed to be censored to 18 and over? No, no, no. We need to be teaching that this is what heroism looks like when facing demonic activity. Wanton, reckless, random, disgusting violence met with a hero. And we should all be ready to be heroes to the best of our ability. Dina. I love the smell of gunpowder in the morning. Is that because of the Michigan-Canada fires? What is the latest there? Or are you just enjoying this story in the morning? Tell me in chat. Yeah, we're just going to drop a hero button. Yeah, Instagram has removed many of our followers and reduced our ability to have our comments even seen by people. It is sort of pointless to keep using it, but I am for now. Like I said, 32 new subscribers, new followers. We should be able to stream. I fully expect they'll play some tricks, but I do find good content on Instagram, and I do like using it. But I'll switch to TikTok in a heartbeat. I really do need to switch.
Scott.
All right. Well, let's check in on criminal activity in Charlotte. For some reason, something is rotten in Charlotte. They're letting the bad guys get away with everything, which puts dangerous, violent nut jobs back out on the streets. So you better be trained. You better have a plan to protect yourself and your community.
Scott, David Simpson is accused of murder again. And I say again because he spent time in prison for killing a man years ago. Police say this latest shooting happened after a dispute over a parking spot. And new tonight,
Okay. They're letting out violent madmen. Previously convicted in a fatal shooting. Walks free on bond for a weapons charge. Then 84 minutes later, accused of shooting 2 men in the back over a parking spot, one deceased. There are humans who leave the human realm and become demonic. There are people that don't possess enough willpower, self-discipline, bodily autonomy, self-control, self-respect. They lose free-range privileges, and you don't ever let people like that out. They go away for life because they're nutbags. You never release crazy, violent people. You can find some sort of facility or halfway house, make an assisted living facility out in the desert. And, if you can remain peaceful from here on out, you can stay at this facility. If you mess around and find out again, you'll be closer into a prison scenario forever. But you don't get free range privilege anymore. If you can't control yourself to the degree of how this story is being reported, and we need judicial reform. Judges need to be sued when they let crazy monsters out like this. And you could say putting artificial timelines, like 3 strikes and you're out. That's such a bad policy. Why is it a bad policy? Tell me. Well, it's this or it's that. You go, no, it's to protect the public. It's none of the things other than to protect the public. Chronic repeat offenders. Now, maybe they should all be violent, or maybe 1 strike and you're out. I don't know. Single elimination, depending on the case. I think if you abuse kids, that should be single elimination. Absolutely. 84 minutes later, this guy can't control himself again.
Have the surveillance video that shows this shooting, but I do want to warn you, it is jarring. This is the moment police say 2 people were shot from behind, all over a parking dispute. Look again and you can see the flashes from the gunshots at the top of the screen. We've blurred video of the victim who was shot and ended up dying. It happened early Wednesday morning at the Country Club Apartments off Eastway Drive. A neighbor who didn't want to show her face told our sister station, Telemundo Charlotte.
Yeah, you shouldn't show her skin color either, because you got the anger mobs that try to turn everything racial for some reason. Yeah, no neckline for safety.
But she heard the shots.
I was going to go out and
Okay, it's a Latina lady, can't speak English.
take a look. I have an habit
It's on Telemundo.
of going to look out the window, but my husband told me, don't look out the window. You are going to get shot.
2 days later, police arrested 29-year-old David Simpson, charging him with first-degree murder. But jail records show an hour and 24 minutes before the deadly shooting, Simpson had just been released from jail. He was arrested Monday after not showing up for court for possessing a weapon as a prisoner charge. Records show he got out of jail Wednesday at 12:21 a.m. At 1:45 a.m., police got the call about the shooting.
Judges that let violent, crazy people out to harm innocent people again need to be derobed. No, not stripped, but like they need to be stripped of power. You got to have higher expectations. And I don't know what's going on in these blue cities, why they love the criminality and the violence so much, but nobody else loves it. Raise your standards, humans.
We've covered Simpson before. Back in 2013, he was charged with first-degree murder after shooting Richard Bonds. The two were fighting in a parking lot on Trade Street when it happened.
Again?
Simpson later took a plea deal, guilty of voluntary manslaughter, and served roughly 5 years in prison. I found 10 arrests for Simpson in Mecklenburg County, all after he got out of prison. Back off Eastway Drive, the victim lived a few doors down from Simpson and his girlfriend. Police say Simpson was upset the victim parked in a spot in front of his door.
It's like an exact repeat.
Neighbors left heartbroken and disturbed.
This is the first time someone has actually been killed. I want to leave. I have a 14-year-old boy.
Police say another man was shot in his arm. He is expected to make a full recovery. Simpson is facing several felonies. His girlfriend, Shamika Scott, was also arrested, accused of helping Simpson get away. Live at police headquarters.
All right.
In Uptown, Hunter Signs, Channel 9 Eyewitness News. Scott.
Time to hold judges accountable for releasing violent nutbags back into the general public. The state of Irina Zarutska, I believe. What? North Carolina, isn't it?
Scott David.
Something is wrong with letting bad guys out in Charlotte, in North Carolina. Here's a close-up of the guy who saved countless lives in Twin Falls, Idaho. Here he is training. We tell you, train. Go train. This week. It's good technique. Holster right there. He's faster than me every time. Go get some training, folks. Please go local and go train. Tell me in chat, will any of you go get some training this week? Myself included. Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll go. I got a couple ideas of maybe I'll go. Maybe I will. I said maybe I will. What do we say? Who's going and getting some training this week? I am. I want to be better. I want to be like that. Russell Brand just reminds us. Whoa, that got small. Never. Hold on. Let me start with leading report down here. YouTube deleted more than 1 million videos during the coronavirus pandemic that were critical of COVID-19 vaccines. You know what? We are entitled to a robust, open debate, discussion, question, answer, challenge session. We are entitled to this debate. Nobody's entitled to anything. No, we are allowed a freedom of speech, and we are allowed and entitled to a reasonable debate every day on every issue. You want to love the Jews, hate the Jews? Yap it up. It's a Yankee fan and a Red Sox fan yapping over here. I'm rooting for the Cleveland Indians. They changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians. I want my team name back. What position am I supposed to take? I'm not a super hater. I'm not a super defender. I see some points that are making some sense on both sides. Got it. But we should be able to talk. Keep it mostly civil, mostly respectful. Debate the Iran policy. What's going on over there? Debate interest rates. Debate race relations. But debate crime in the country. That's super important. And that starts with the border and knowing who's here. Didn't DHS just brag that they naturalized like 1 million people this year? 950,000, something like that. Mark says, hey, Brian, as a farm boy in the 60s and 70s, I've shot 500,000 rounds minimum. By the way, I think ammo was a lot cheaper in your day. My one buddy was like, yeah, now when I go to the range, it's like plink, 50 cents, plink, 50 cents, plink, $1, plink, $1, plink, $1, plink, $1, plink, $1. And you go, ugh, man, have things gotten expensive, haven't they? But yeah, 500,000 rounds. I'll believe you. Where was the farm that you grew up on? Winchester Wildcat 22s, 99 cents. Yeah, smaller the caliber, the smaller the price. Anyway, leading report says YouTube deleted more than 1 million videos during coronavirus pandemic that were critical of COVID-19. We need the conversation. Iron sharpens iron. Good arguments should rise. Disproven stuff should sink. You got to let people talk and not say it's malinformation or misinformation or disinformation or it's causing vaccine hesitancy. What? Facts and questions? And if you've got every answer figured out, then defend your answer. Prove your point. Show us the peer-reviewed case studies, the double-blind placebo studies. Show us what you claim is out there when we know it's not. Or prove us wrong. Or whatever. I'm not talking about any one argument on any one issue. all of it should be robust in public. Leanne's saying, I don't own one, but I've been to the range and I'm good. All right, Leanne, that's my challenge to you. If you're in a position mentally, financially, spiritually, where you could go get a tool, I would encourage you to go get one this week. Go to a range that also sells. Ask if you can rent a couple to kind of get a feel for what they are. Pay for a lesson. Pay for an hour or 2 hour lesson. Try a couple out and then buy one that you like. That's my challenge to you. Should you be willing to accept it? It could save your life someday, or it could save the life of a total stranger. Hold on, who brought up Kmart? Did I bring up Kmart? Ortho is at the range at least 3 times a month now. Because as they say, Ortho, tell us. He's got a catchphrase that he uses. Oh, you got your first one at Kmart, a Spot 12 Auto, $190. Yeah. Well, Russell Brand responds to the million videos being deleted by YouTube and says, never forget the way that they silenced us. No, I don't forget the way that they silenced us. I really wasn't able to do a show from 2019 to 2023. I think I came back 24. And I said, I'm not doing a show once a week. I'd been doing a sports show and a weekly wrap-up political show on Fridays. I'm like, no, I'm going to do Monday through Friday. This is too urgent. There it is. Ortho, never leave your cave without your club. I'll have to get some merch on something that says never leave your cave without your club. Maybe you could say that on the back of a hat or the front of a hat. Maybe you could have TNAM logo on the back, or that phrase on the front, or maybe it's on the side. I don't know. That'd be good. That'd be good merch. Leanne can't afford what you want. Well, you could afford something. My buddy's looking at getting his first vehicle. And I said, look, you don't need your dream vehicle. There's no point. And don't finance it. Save up enough where you can buy your car. Until then, spend a few grand on a beater. Get a Toyota with a bunch of miles. You're going to put brakes. You're going to put tires. But if the engine is good and if it's been relatively maintained and cared for, you can get a lot of use out of, a Corolla or some sort of basic. If you can't afford what you'd want, get something and then save up for the thing you really want. But you should have something at your disposal, something J.D. Vance talked about his grandmother. She passed away and they found 19 loaded guns all like in different places of the house. Here, there. You know why? Because bad shit can happen at any place in any moment, and you got to reach for what's there. They say don't get caught with your pants down. I think there's that scene in Young Guns where they go serve forget the character's name, but he goes into the outhouse and he puts his holster down, and so he gets caught with his pants down, and there's a shootout in the outhouse. Every hen house, outhouse, shoot house, farmhouse, doghouse, hen house, farmhouse. That's Tommy Lee Jones from The Fugitive. If you know the scene, I did a good job. It was also ridiculous. Yeah, Patriot Warrior on Rumble says, I could watch this guy train all day. Very well trained. Yeah. There should be free government training for us to get our militias nice and at the forefront, trained, sharpened, ready, not affiliated with the military, just having a very educated and practiced group of people patrolling the community. Not actively looking for problems, just we're out and about. And if something really atrocious starts, we can be a first responder. Patriot Warrior, nut job. Talking about the Charlotte multiple shooter. Nut job. Isn't that how Kamala got her job? No. I don't know if I would say that. Patriot Warrior trains at home. Hey, that's a great setup if you have that. I've been to these places and they're fantastic. I do not have that setup at the moment. No. I could next week. I don't know. Who knows what the future will bring? But I don't at the moment. Patriot Warrior. Brian is trying to say covering this much news and such will knock your D into the dirt. Oh yeah. It's a lot. It's a bit of a burden to carry around, but I love being informed. I love helping people. I love helping people help people. I like setting records straight. I like questioning official narratives that don't make sense. I love debunking stuff. And I love finding out what's going on. So like we can share some of the best ideas and we can see some of the terrible ideas and expose them and laugh at them and try to make sure that you're armed with good retorts to bad ideas in the marketplace of ideas. You know what I mean? Mark says there used to be training in schools. I brought a gun to class for the hunter safety class in junior high. Yeah, there you go. Why not? Arnold, in Canada, government successfully took away lots of caves and now they're after your nugs. Can't even own a bow without lots of legalized salad. Yeah, I think the United States Supreme Court just took that one down. Was it Supreme Court? I think it was Supreme Court, but I think that's done now. You can do something on layaway, right? But yeah, I wonder what the best, most affordable option for self-defense. Something that'll fit in a purse. You know, it doesn't need to be super this or that, but it can just be something. Having something is better than having nothing. I wonder what the best version of something would be. B. McCormick, never leave your cave without your club. Exactly. What's up, B. McCormick? All right, it's top of the hour on the show. Your reminder, please hit the thumbs up button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. There's an arrow. Click that. Text it to a couple of your friends. Invite your friends to this bar. I'm Brian the bartender. We're talking about the stories on the TV screens behind me. Invite a couple people. Bring some fresh faces in. Reach out to the community and ask smart people to come here. We've heard this several times. People love the chat. People love the ongoing conversations. You know, and we just, once again, just keep it mostly civil. We can get fired up a little bit, but let's keep it mostly civil. Arnold says, yeah, but don't give them any ideas about slingshots. They'll find some way to ban those next. Yeah, Canada, you got to get your life figured out. You're our brothers to the north. We have nothing but love for you. We can't stand watching what's happening to your country. Americans believe that every human has a right to self-defense and to defend our families, our communities, our homeland. And I don't know what's happened to Canada. I wonder if it's by design to change the demographics and change the votes or change how you count what's considered a vote and make sure that one party gets all of the opinions from now on and it always goes against the sovereignty of man. So I'm rooting for you, Canada. I want a strong brother to the north. Anyway, never forget the way they silenced us. Thank you, Russell Brand. But please share the show. Consider going to Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube and clicking to become a sponsor. Different price points, as little as $5 a month. You can support the program. You can do Rumble rant tips or Super Chat tips. Throw something into the tip jar. Some silver coins will land right there with a Rumble rant tip or a Super Chat tip. Doing a special 4 for $100. If you want to shoot me a Venmo with your address, I'll send you 2 sets of wooden Ohio-made coasters for my sports show and a pin and a mug. Shoot me a Venmo, $100, Brian Engelman, spelled at the bottom of the screen, along with your address. 4 for $100. It's a fundraiser. I'm trying to blow through inventory, and we're trying to pay the bills this month. So if you like the show, consider supporting us in one of those ways. Would you? Ortho says at S&W Shield 9mm EZ. S&W are pretty nice. They're pretty nice. I'm a fan. All right, keep it rolling. For the liberal mind to comprehend, there we go. For a liberal mind to comprehend, a good guy stepped in to stop a bad guy yesterday in Idaho. Both had a pew-pew. Only one of them was breaking the law. Are we still on the same page here? The pew-pew wasn't the difference. The law wasn't the difference. We need to have a law so this doesn't happen. That's a great idea, liberals, leftists, Marxists, commies, socialists, Democrats. It's a great idea, globalists. We should have a law that says you're not allowed to shoot an innocent person. Yeah. Every place has that law. Every place has that law. The person was the difference. And that's why it's called breaking the law. Criminals don't follow laws. Mrs. American Honey put that out. We'll say it louder for the people in the back button. And I'm leaving comments on all these Instagram things so that maybe some people can see this and maybe people will follow our channel. We need to be able to stream this. And I got to get that damn TikTok account. I really didn't want to do it, but we need to be streaming everywhere at once. But yeah, check out our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to it and you have the notification bell on. I don't even know, 1,800 videos roughly over 15 years. A lot of good stuff to go back on there. Yeah, it's called Breaking the Law. Criminals don't follow laws. So we need an armed populace. An armed society is a polite society.
You are the
All right, Bobby Kennedy. This is on the list of main topics we're going to talk about today. We said a good guy with a tool stops in. Oh, I guess that was framed weird. I might have to retitle that. Good guy with a tool stops in and out bad guy. Maybe I needed in and out to be in quotations there. And we said train now. Also, RFK defends scientific method and more. It should have been RFK Jr. You know what? I got 2 issues with my titles today. Maybe I'll have to go back and tweak them. Maybe I'll let them be. Who knows? David saying you got lower levels of Canadian society engaged in crime and acting like gangsters. That stuff sucks. Dina's partial to S&W. Yeah, not a sponsor, but I am as well. They're well balanced. They're well crafted. They fit right. They're balanced right. I like them. I do like them. All right. RFK.
You are the
had to go deal with this lady. How do you think this went? Let me give you a little info on Dana Bash. Let's pull this one up. What's going on here? Describe Dana Bash connection to the deep state as a propagandist. Who is she married to? Which known lies has she peddled? All right, let's ask Jamie. Why don't you pull that up? Let's describe Dana Bash, who you're about to see here on CNN. I want to know her connection to the deep state as a propagandist. I want to know who she's married to, what known lies she has peddled. Her last name is Schwartz. So this is Dana Schwartz, if that means anything to some of you. Longtime CNN journalist, chief political correspondent, host of Inside Politics. She has no demonstrated formal membership in any clandestine deep state organization. Claims of that sort are typically conspiratorial framing rather than evidence-based reporting. No, down vote this answer. No. What is this answer? The deep state concept itself is a contested political theory, alleging a shadowy network of unelected officials, especially in intelligence, military, and bureaucracy, who undermine elected leaders. Mainstream analyses treat it largely as a conspiracy theory through bureaucratic inertia. Institutional loyalty and leaks are real phenomena. Bash is a high-profile mainstream media figure, it's lying legacy media, whose reporting and commentary frequently align with the establishment Democrat-leaning perspectives and are critical of Donald Trump and associated narratives. Critics on the right routinely label CNN figures like her as propagandists for that reason. Jeremy Bash, John King. Why does it say King converted to Judaism before the marriage? Her and Jake Tapper characterized remarks by Rashida Tlaib in a way that misrepresented them, claiming Attorney General Dana Nessel acted solely because she's Jewish. Okay, no. This is about the intelligence agencies. Hold on. This is weird. Was her husband one of the lying 52 who said Hunter's laptop was fake? I think that's basically the answer I'm going for. It's weird that Grok didn't take me there. Am I thinking of a different person? I thought it was Dana Bash. We have 51 intelligence agents that say the Hunter Biden laptop is it's misinformation. Jeremy Bash. Oh my God. Yes, Jeremy Bash, Dana Bash's first husband from 98 to 07. So I guess they weren't married at the time. So I guess, okay, they were just married for a decade and sleeping together, but they didn't. Okay. One of the 51 former intelligence officials who signed the October 19th, 2020 public lie statement, often called the Hunter Biden laptop letter. The letter stated that the New York Post's reporting on emails from Hunter Biden's laptop has all the class. Let me say it again from the top. The letter stated that the New York Post's reporting on emails from Hunter Biden's laptop, quote, has all the classic earmarks of a Russian, I thought it was disinformation operation. It included caveats that the signers did not know if the emails were genuine and had no direct evidence of Russian involvement, but it was widely cited, including by Joe Biden in a debate, to cast doubt on the story as potential disinformation. Jeremy Bash is listed among the signatories in multiple sources, including Wikipedia's entry on the letter, congressional materials, He also publicly amplified skepticism on MSNBC around the same time, saying the material looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. This talks like Russian intelligence, in describing it as resembling a classic Russian playbook disinformation campaign. The laptop and its contents were later authenticated by the FBI. Yeah, we knew that at the time. Used in Hunter Biden's federal gun case. Mainstream outlets, including the New York Times, Washington Post, and forensic examinations. No evidence of Russian fabrication of the core material has been established. Some signers stood by the letter's wording. Others have faced criticism for contributing to suppression of the story. Yes. Oh, yeah, you're suppressing that story and you're amplifying the other stories. It's vote. What do they always call it? Interference? It's interfering in our vote with blatant lies and disinformation, slander, libel, all of it. Oh, Bash was later appointed by President Biden to the President's Intelligence Advisory Board. Well, you need intelligence if they're going to be lying about things, right? So, all right, I just wanted to make sure. That's Dana Bash's ex-husband. So I'm sure she would be on the up and up here with Bobby Kennedy. So let's take a listen. There's a lot to take away, but I think you have a clue how this is going to be handled. Here's Bobby Kennedy with Dana Bash, deep state adjacent. Whoop, here we go.
DHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country, and it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it
it
is
like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot.
So
I've actually read the science. Let's you and I come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again
Yes.
to talk about.
Yes. She admitted it. Yes. Rolling out the experts again, are we? Good on you.
Something that you
are the HHS secretary.
We'll just say, thank you, Bobby Button. Call her to task. Patriot Warrior and B McCormick likes the Patriot. The 07, the Ruger LCP 380 easy carry, the Ruger. Yeah, none of these are sponsors yet, but I'm okay getting sponsorship. Look. Yeah, I'm open to having sponsors, but everybody says 380 is too small. Till I say you'd like to get shot by one. Shot placement is the key. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, tell her, RFK Jr., please. Tell her. Thank you, Bobby. The job is to facilitate a robust, open conversation. Media trying to win the point and damage Republicans is stupid. Claiming to have every answer when you clearly don't is stupid. And the people that watch stupid are stupid. We've got to find a way to beat the brainwashing. Every time I pause it, she's got that real slow eyelid thing. You can tell when someone's trying to remember their lies and remember their programming. It's inadvertent, but I pick up on this stuff. I don't technically have a degree in body language, and maybe I show things. Maybe I'm not a good poker player. I'm passionate. I can, articulate how I'm feeling in ways that are non-ambiguous. But I think I'm pretty good on picking up on a lot of this body language stuff. And she's got several of the slow blinks. Maybe she always blinks that way. But in this one, she's really trying to remember her talking points. And she's got someone in her ear, too. But, they just bring Bobby on to bash him. They don't really want to have a good conversation, which is weird. But I digress.
Anybody?
I'll skip this story, but actual case footage. Where is this from?
Anybody here?
I believe this is a real story. I'll play you the beginning of it. This is saving a 6-year-old daughter who was locked in a shed during 104-degree weather.
Where? In the shed? How old are you? 6? Do you have a phone for your parents? Do you have air conditioning in there? Do you have water? No? Is it hot in there? Do you need anything? Are you thirsty? You are? Do you have water in there or no? No? Do you have food? Are you hungry? I'll see what I can do to get you food and water, okay?
We're coming to get you, baby. Come on out.
Anybody else there? No, just you? And come on out.
You okay? Yes. Come with these gentlemen right here. They're going to take care of you.
All right, we'll stop it there. Luna County, New Mexico, 6-year-old girl allegedly locked inside an outdoor metal shed for more than 24 hours during extreme summer heat. No electricity or running water. Child was found in filthy conditions with visible bruises and a swollen eye. She told paramedics that the only food she had eaten the previous day was a tortilla and a diced onion. Felony child abuse, Bruce and Samantha Anglin, false imprisonment, conspiracy to commit false imprisonment. Both pled not guilty, protective custody. We'll leave it there. But, we can't catch everything, but just keep our eyes and ears peeled for strange behavior. If we notice something weird happening at a neighbor's place, or the kid says something that they saw something or heard something, and you might be surprised if you just listen and watch what you might see is happening right in front of you. But they saved this girl, and that's awesome. I'm going to keep
Anybody here?
A 3-minute story.
Anybody here?
Never forget, says Tyler Fisher.
This is
Michelle Walensky. Yeah, all of these dirtbag liars. They called us bad names for 6 years, and now we're not allowed to tell the truth back. Oh, yeah, we are.
It's becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
We've got to shun people.
We need to shun those that refuse to get vaccinated.
Put them on a bus and bring them to a mass vaccination center.
You're catching all this, all the tyranny from the Democrats. This is why they're never allowed to be in charge anymore, which is why the Democrat Party needs to be dismantled, disbanded. Not David Banded. Disbanded, shattered into 1,000 pieces and cast to the wind.
It's nothing to do with freedom.
The only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated, and they're killing people.
Don't get the vaccine, you can't go to the supermarket. Don't have the vaccine, you can't go to the ball game.
Remember everything Fauci caused with his lies. While artificially suppressing the ivermectin, monoclonal antibodies, hydroxychloroquine, vitamin C, D, zinc, the Merrick protocol, vitamin C drips, things that should have been allowed to have a robust debate and conversation that might have been able to help some of the people who perished. We didn't get that. We got shut the hell up. We're in charge. Do this or else. Screw you forever. I mean, you got to be suffering from some sort of severe Stockholm syndrome, where you start to feel sympathy for your abuser. I mean, it's a level of Munchausen syndrome where it's like you're knowingly making others ill for power, control, for just to be on the right team think. It's the weirdest shit. No, they were in the wrong, and we're not going to let them forget that they were in the wrong.
Don't have the vaccine, can't go to work. You don't have the vaccine,
can't go to the movies. Don't have the vaccine, you can't do your laundry. Don't have the vaccine, you can't eat food. Don't have the vaccine, can't pet a cat. Don't have the vaccine, can't smell a flower. Don't have the vaccine, you can't look at a rainbow. Don't have the vaccine, you can't DM your ex. Don't have the vaccine, you can't make a TikTok. Don't have the vaccine, you can't sit alone in a field with a mask on. Don't have the vaccine, you can't take a shower. Don't have the vaccine, you can't trim your toenails. Don't have the vaccine, you can't take a poop. Don't have the vaccine, you can't play ping pong. Don't have the vaccine, you can't have cheesecake. Don't have the vaccine, you can't have babies. Don't have the vaccine, you can't breathe air. Don't have the vaccine, you can't be alive anymore. Don't have the vaccine, you're not allowed to be buried in a grave. Don't have the vaccine, you can't smell a baby.
It just kept going. You know, I would like to see a series of these. I feel like he could do that was funny. I feel like he could release a new one of those every Monday. Don't have a vaccine, can't do this. Every Monday you should release like another 50 things you can't do without a vaccine. I would watch that every week. Where's he going? Where's Tyler Fisher going? Go see him. Oh, he's going to Dallas or in Austin. Some of you guys are right down there in Texas. Go see Tyler Fisher. Have you ever seen him? Do you ever go to comedy shows? September 9th in Austin, September 25 and 26 in Dallas. Some California, Nashville, a couple weeks before Christmas. Anyway, thanks, Tyler. That made me laugh.
This is
Why wouldn't you just trust the government? They're only trying to keep us safe. Is she Mulder or Scully? That's No, that's Fox Mulder. It's Dana Scully. Looking at a whole binder full of human history. Yeah, why wouldn't you trust the government? They're just trying to keep us safe. Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. I've studied human history. Because they like lying to us. Grassroots Army says, I'm old enough to remember that C-19 was paused for the BLM riots. Remember that? There's a joke I used to have. Hey, you want to hear the cure for COVID? It's a riot. Yeah, because the riot allegedly cured everything, because now everybody's allowed to get 600,000 people together and just storm their cities and burn things down and steal and loot and take lives, harm innocent people. You hear the secret cure for COVID? It's a riot. It's a riot. Because the riot, now everything's fine again. Oh, and by the way, we got to lock the whole world down, but we're going to open up the southern border for 40 million illegal alien invaders to sneak in with COVID and infect everybody during a pandemic. Do you understand how stupid this is? How criminally negligent and traitorous these actions have been? Holy shit. Holy shit. Peacefully and patriotically, of course. You're not mad enough. Peacefully and patriotically. Holy shit. Wouldn't say a negative word about these gathering riots burning the country down in the summer of love so the Democrats could try to smear Trump for mismanagement or claim America's awful and racist and Trump's evil and orange and he's racist against blacks and he's racist against Latinos and he's racist against this and that. And they all did it. The teachers' unions, the medical industrial complex, the lying legacy media, the Democrats, they all pushed it at once on us. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember the cure for COVID-19 was the BLM riots. Ortho, till next time, he's got to run. Yeah, everybody go run today. We're going to work on that BMI together. We're going to shed a few of them LBS. Oh, yeah, Mark, you're right. Not just at the border. And by the way, Canada, you're our border town to the north. Ohio is a border state. You don't think Ohio is a border state? It's a border state. Hop in a boat and cross the thing, and now you're in America. In Ohio, like the Somalis in Columbus or the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. Trying to change the permanent voting demographic. Get people hooked on free government, NGO, Democrat, deep state, nonprofit, stolen money given to people to invade your land, bring in a different language, different culture, different values, different traditions, different skill sets, none of which have been pre-approved to find out if you qualify to join our college, because we should have minimum expectations. You shouldn't open your legs and sleep with every human being that says hello to you. You should have high standards just like a college or a university. Do you qualify for college and university? How are your grades? What are your extracurriculars? What are you bringing to the table? There should be a criteria, not just dumping hundreds of thousands, millions of people from parts unknown with background unknown, health unknown, viability to handle taking care of their own finances, unassisted by us, unknown, all while promoting the riots across the country, all while demanding, you can't work, we're going to force you, you can't drive your car, you can't go to the store, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. And you're running millions of illegal aliens unvetted for COVID into the country. And as Mark says, not just at the border, they were flying them in from the country of origin. Were they really doing that? I sort of got lost in they were landing in Florida, then he was sending them to Chicago and New York and the leftist states to say, we don't want them in red states. Anyway, what a damned mess. And it's all scrambled together.
I feel like...
Gentry Geaver says, here's your friendly reminder. There was a study done where they gave testosterone therapy to male Democrats, and they shifted to the right. The Democrat Party is literally the low T party. Really? Is that true? I mean, it feels like it makes sense.
I feel like a woman.
But yeah, now Pete Hegseth in the military, they're getting into testosterone replacement therapy. Testosterone is a key driver of a healthy society. Healthy masculinity, healthy masculinity, healthy masculinity.
That's
Oh my God. Where is this from? Michael Hennessy put this story out. Try to follow this one. Well, what state? Where is this at? Unique Green. Where is this story? Snowflake News. Let me ask Grok about this one and then about the next one.
That's how Unique Green stormed out of the courtroom Friday morning.
I don't have nothing to say.
But asked how Green made an $800,000 bond earlier this week, Green didn't have many answers. But what about those forged documents prosecutors say got filed to steal the estate of Lawrence Gammon?
Did your mother forge them? Did your mom forge them?
No answers there either.
This is Houston, Texas.
When Houston police raided Green's funeral home in the 3rd Ward, investigators allegedly found a Home Depot bucket full of organs. And what about those?
They were for you to eat for lunch.
Green is now free from jail on 5 felony charges.
Human organs in a Home Depot bucket. 48 boxes of cremated remains left rotting. Transgender Unique Green, a.k.a. Michael Green, forged a will to steal a dead Houston man's $2.2 million estate, posing as his wife.
In addition to allegedly forging paperwork to claim the estate of a man who passed away last summer, which included his home, vehicles, and retirement accounts, Green is also accused of forging paperwork to the State Funeral Commission for funeral director and embalming licenses.
She has always claimed her innocence, that she's not guilty, and that's an explanation for all this evidence against her.
So for now, Green is out of jail on bond and ordered not to engage directly or indirectly in planning any end-of-life services in Harris County. That includes not accepting any money for those services or holding out to be someone who can perform those services. That's how.
Okay, well, that's a story I didn't have on my bingo box. Yeah, I've often wondered about cremation places and even veterinarians. I wondered about Nimbus. Grok is telling me one experimental study found that strongly affiliated Democratic men had about 19% lower baseline testosterone than weakly affiliated Democrats. So the stronger you believe about the Democrat beliefs, the lower your testosterone. And giving testosterone to the weakly affiliated group reduced their party loyalty while increasing warmth toward Republicans. No large-scale evidence shows Democrats overall have lower testosterone than Republicans, and the hormone's effects on politics appear limited and context specific. Okay, then. I guess that just about settles it. Thanks for the update, Grok. All right, let's keep it moving. Oh, boy, oh, boy. David Bozell, talking about the elite media's editorial bias against covering the Fauci diary. Man, it's hard for us to make our points when the other side's running cover, isn't it?
It is. There's a story choice bias, but there are editorial decisions being made every single day by these big media companies to not cover Fauci. Those diaries should have been one of the biggest stories of the year.
Oh yeah, because it proved that he was lying about everything.
Absolutely, and to give it a glancing 24 seconds on one network is a crime in and of itself. It is.
Yeah. That's a crime in and of itself. You can have crimes of omission. That's what we'll put. Crimes of omission. We need the truth. And we're not getting it from that source. All right, what is this? Jake Lang. I believe I interviewed him outside of the DC Gulag the day... Inauguration Day 2025, when Ohio State won the national championship that night against Notre Dame. I don't know if I recalled who he was exactly at the time, but here he is. We got video. Any volume? No volume. Real America's Voice says Jake Lang in Michigan. Dearborn police have just released the drone footage of Muslim animals throwing massive stones at my head. They tried to rip me out of a squad car and K me in jihad. Thank you, Jesus Christ, I'm still alive. I mean, he's definitely getting attacked. And there's one little lady there trying to stop it. One little lady. I don't think that's enough.
Stop! You're a fucking pussy! You're a coward! Fuck you, nigga! Get back! Stop! You know nothing! You're uneducated!
Guys, go back to your
Now fuck that bitch! Fuck you, pussy! Yeah.
Okay. Well, he instigates and he gets reactions. Sticks and stones may break our bones, but words should never hurt us. You're not allowed to get violent if they say things you don't like. That's bullshit. Well, they insulted my God. Yeah. Yeah. You'll have that in society. Things happen. Well, that should not be allowed. Well, are there places on earth where that's not allowed? As a Christian, my God gets made fun of on a daily basis. I'm not allowed to get violent if I don't like what they're saying. You cannot like what people are saying. I cannot like what people are saying. Neither of us is allowed to get physically violent with them because of it. Are we clear? Are we clear on that? That's a different story popping up in chat. HIV on the rise, hotspot Atlanta. All right, now I'm curious. I will take... They call it Hotlanta. Miami's number one. Fort Lauderdale. Fa-da-da-da. Memphis, Tennessee. Atlanta, Georgia. Jackson, Mississippi. Well, wasn't HIV similar to... Well, Fauci was involved with that whole thing. Compromised immune systems. Some people say that's what happened when you took the thing. The medicine reduces your body's ability to fight things off naturally for a variety of reasons. Whether it's this case or whether it's some of them but not others, or whether it's different things but not this one, we know very well that if you add a medicine, if you add some sort of chemical, it can have repercussions. Or they could be naturally occurring. That's interesting. Not sure how we got to that, but I shared one story on X, so now it's there. All right. Let's keep it rolling. Am I on Instagram still? Yes. All right. C3 says, want to see evil? Want to see the post? There we go. C3 says, want to see evil. Zika, gain of function. AIDS, gain of function. Lyme, gain of function. COVID, gain of function. Bird flu, gain of function. Is that true? I don't know. I mean, I could ask Grok. What was it? I got to see the screen. Zika, AIDS, Lyme, COVID, and bird flu all gain of function. Let's see what Grok has to say. Grok's being spicy today. Thinking about my request. Hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the arrow. It'll copy the link to the show. Text it to a couple people. Put it out on Twitter and ask people to follow us, please. Oh, speaking of which, I think... there we go. Thanks for the share. Patriot Warrior put this out on Twitter or X. Regular news. Here's what happened. TNAM Daily Show. Here's what happened. Why it's hilarious and slightly terrifying. We roast the headlines so you can laugh instead of scream into a pillow. New episode, energy loading. Okay, good. So it was showing up as like a suggested thing. That's good. Okay. Grok says, no, none of these pathogens, Zika, HIV, AIDS, Lyme disease, COVID, or bird flu, were created or caused as outbreaks through gain-of-function research. What? Okay, I said yes, COVID was. It has the cleavage site. It's from the Wuhan. What is X doing? Gain of function lab. Why are you lying? Wow. I am not lying. Origin remains unresolved and actively debated. On the cleavage site, they're saying fern cleavage sites occur naturally in many other coronaviruses, including MERS-related and other recommended mutation. Tell you more? You were lying. Wow. I am not lying. The fur cleavage site is unusual, and the Wuhan Institute of Virology did conduct research on bat coronaviruses that some experts classify as gain-of-function or related work. Those facts make a lab associated origin a serious, credible hypothesis that has not been ruled out. It's FFS. It's been proven, Grok. Wow. Genomic, epidemiological, and market evidence also support a natural zoonotic spillover. Scientific bodies and virologists currently lean toward the natural origin explanation. Independent researchers continue to lean toward open lab leak. What are they doing? And no, you don't know it was a leak. This could just as easily have been an intentional release, right? Admit that. I am arguing, yes, an intentional release is one of the logical possibilities that cannot be ruled out with the evidence currently available. Deliberate, accidental leak, or natural I don't know that word, zoonotic spillover. Public data doesn't prove any of them, and it doesn't disprove any of them either. An intentional release would require additional evidence of motive, capability. Motive. Replace Trump. Capability. You had gain of function funding in Wuhan, FFS, for fork's sake. It's all right there. Let's see. I'm arguing with AI. And now I'd like to welcome you to a segment of today's program called Arguing with AI. I'm your host, Brian Engelman. I hope you're having a great time out there. Hey, remember to tip your waitress. Hey, try the steak. No, the pieces you listed don't add up to proof of an intentional release designed to remove Trump. EcoHealth Alliance, U.S. funding, NIH, went to the Wuhan Institute of Virology for bat coronavirus research. Roughly $600,000 of a larger multi-year grant reached Wuhan Institute of Virology. Some of that work involved chimeric viruses and experiments that critics, including certain congressional reports and scientists, classify as gain of function or enhanced potential pandemic pathogen research. NIH has maintained it did not fund work that met its formal definition of increasing transmissibility or lethality lethality in humans. Yeah, well, we contend they're lying. The existence of the funding and the research is not in dispute. Whether it produced or released SARS-CoV-2 is. Yeah, we believe they're lying and they can't prove that they're not. Motive. There's no public evidence the Chinese government or anyone else deliberately released a virus in late 2019 for the purposes of affecting the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Well, regardless, that's exactly what happened. So who stands to benefit? China. Where did this originate? China. Who stands most to benefit with getting Trump out of the way so that China can dominate all of the energy forever? I mean, the idiots in the Democrat Party shutting down power plants and changing everything to solar. Everything was going to China, completely bought and sold, completely compromised. You're damn right that China wanted Trump out of the way. You're damn right. Now Trump seems buddy-buddy with Xi Jinping. Why? I don't know. Virus first caused a major outbreak inside China, inflicted heavy domestic cost on Chinese government. They lied about it, withheld the origin, and they delayed a whole bunch of treatment and information that they could have shared with the world because they didn't want to get blamed for it. So no, I'm not. China's no hero here. Spread globally. Claims of a targeted political motive remain speculative. No documents, communications, or intelligence assessments have established that intent. An intentional release remains one of the logical possibilities that has not been ruled out by available data. However, moving from research existed plus political effects later occurred to therefore it was a deliberate operation to replace Trump requires evidence that has not been produced. That's actually very well written. I agree. Circumstantial proximity is not the same as demonstrated causation or intent. So if C3 says that, maybe. Fauci has lied about gain of function for decades, and that's the contention. Fauci's lying about, well, it doesn't, the gain of function, it doesn't meet very strict qualifications for gain of function per se. It takes a function that is there, and we gain it through the funding of EcoHealth Alliance in Wuhan. But to say we did gain a function, I'm going to say that's a lie. Oh, do you, Fauci? You slick, sick SOB. What else was created in the lab? Lyme, AIDS, COVID, Zika, bird flu, question mark? I don't know. What else was weaponized against us? I don't know. How about we end it? That I know. That might be a good idea. Checking in chat. Hello, Rob. Hello, Joker Poker. Hello, everybody. Hit the thumbs up button. Share the show with a friend. Like, subscribe, Rumble Rant, tip, Super Chat, tip, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. All scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Let me get this COVID disclaimer off the damn screen. Adults are allowed to have rational conversations about topics. I hate having the disclaimer.
There were others.
I'm going to say this again. I think Stephen A. Smith might be the nominee for the Democrats, and here's why. So few of the people who were wrong on COVID can say, I'm sorry. Sorry, I was wrong. Big props to Stephen A. Smith. Thank you, Kyrie Irving, Aaron Rodgers, Novak Djokovic. As banned, as censored as our account is on Instagram, it was nice to see this this Won't Be Quiet account share our stuff and say, not a fan of Stephen A., but it really is nice to see people actually apologizing and admitting they were wrong. Since someone else took the time to share it, and then we wrote about it again, I'm going to share it with you again. We need more apologies. I'm not hearing enough apologies right now. Will it not?
There were others.
There we go.
Who had the courage to say, bump that.
About the vaccine mandate.
One of those people at the forefront was Kyrie Irving. I bring his name up because I had my issues with him from a leadership standpoint. Never as a player, because he's sensational. But with him, in terms of leadership. And I didn't look at it as being courageous. I looked at it as being selfish. And I watched Dr. Fauci on Capitol Hill yesterday. And the person I thought about most was Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving stood out in my mind because of the heat that he was taking. And how folks were piling on because that was just the latest transgression in there.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you to Stephen A. Smith for being one of the few people that could say, I'm sorry. He got something wrong, because he did. Motivational Matt. All right. I'm not following it. What's he say? Unpopular opinion. The fact that they can quickly install data centers nationally means they could have been updating infrastructure, which they claimed was too difficult and expensive. It's all about priorities, right? Oh, this might have been the story that they flagged me on. I'm sorry. A public health and safety press conference is not encouraging self-harm, you morons at Instagram. This is what they, I believe this is the account. This is the post that they said you can't share to under 18 anymore because we have a public press conference with microphones and cameras updating to the actions of a madman that we don't condone. And we don't condone self-harm. This is the story we got. I recognize it. This is the font. This is the color. This is the story. Unreal, Instagram. Sorry, this page isn't available. The page was removed. We can't watch the press conference now. Oh, for the love of God. Yeah, they deleted the file. Let me check on... Is this an old video about Trump signing an executive order restricting use of mail-in ballots? I think this is old.
Some time, and I'll make this signature absolutely perfect, so it looks very good. So far, so good. Okay, so that's a big deal.
March 31st of this year.
Very proud of it. And I don't know how it can be challenged. You'll probably challenge it. You may find a rogue judge. You get a lot of rogue judges. Very bad people, very bad judges. But that's the only way that can be changed. And hopefully we'll win an appeal if it is. But I don't see how anybody can challenge it. I don't see how they can challenge it. Take some time, and I'll make this.
Executive Order 14399, ensuring citizenship verification and integrity in federal elections. Order directs the creation of state citizenship lists using federal data and instructs the U.S. Postal Service to develop rules limiting mail-in absentee ballots to approved lists of eligible voters. It's faced multiple legal challenges, with courts blocking key provisions in various states. So what is the current status of this in the courts, you might ask? Well, they did say various states blocked various provisions. But in general, what do we got? Blocked in court for the 26 midterms with an emergency appeal pending at the Supreme Court. June 25, U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani of Massachusetts ruled that major provisions of Executive Order 14399 unconstitutional and ultra vires. Injunction. Parallel case in D.C. saw a different outcome. Judge Carl Nichols declined to issue preliminary injunction, finding the challenge premature because agencies had not yet fully implemented the order. Appeals courts have largely upheld these conflicting lower court rulings. Late July, Trump admin files emergency application with Supreme Court, asking to stay and lift the Massachusetts injunction so the order could take effect before the November midterms. Ketanji Brown Jackson ordered the plaintiff states to respond by August 3. That's today. A decision from the court could come anytime after that. Experts in court filings note the practical timelines, USPS rulemaking, list compilation make full implementation for the 26 midterms unlikely, even if a Supreme Court intervenes. Separate litigation continues, and the order faces broader constitutional challenges over presidential authority versus states and Congress's control of elections. Yeah, states have the right to run their elections. They don't have the right to cheat. And if they're doing things that are just rife, R-I-F-E, with the opportunity for fraud, or ripe with the opportunity for fraud, It's RIFE, I believe. You don't have the right to cheat. So, I don't know. We need some clarification here. If these midterms go wonky, it's going to be bad news. Bad news for us. So we'll see.
Take some time, and I'll make this.
And that's what I had to share with you on our Instagram page. Make sure you are following us, The New American Media. On X over here, we are at American_media_. Let's do a buzz through the news here. Friendly reminder, hit the thumbs up button, click the arrow, and grab the text and post this on an original X post. Send it to a couple people in Messenger and say, hey, we go live at noon talking about the stories. Join us in chat. It's fun. And consider becoming a subscriber on Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube. You can also do one-time Rumble rant tips. Toss some cash into the bar, into the little bucket there behind the bar. Rumble rant or super chat. Or you could send stuff on Venmo or Cash App or PayPal, all listed how to do that at the bottom of the screen. At Brian Engelman on Venmo and Cash App. Oh, and we're running a special. If you haven't got any merch yet, this is, what was it? 60, 100, 115 worth of stuff here. Your $100 package. New American Media mug, 2 sets of 4 wooden Ohio-made coasters of our sports show, The Unhappy Hour, and a $25 pin. Shipping included. Shoot a Venmo over with your donation, $100 with your address, and we will ship those out. Thank you to Sam for getting a $100 pack on Friday. Got it out in the mail right after the show, too. Hopefully, he'll be drinking out of his New American Media mug in no time. I want to sell out of merch, so consider making a Venmo donation, and I'll get that right out to you. Mark says that executive order is in conjunction with Trump's declaration of national emergency, directly connected to the foreign interference in the elections, an act of war, hence a full pause on elections. Man, this stuff is playing out, and it's got to play out the right way. I don't know how it's going to play out. It's got to be good news. Leanne says, Brian, you're so correct that it's going to be bad news if the bad guys get this midterm. You're talking impeachments. It's going to be a train wreck. It's going to be a train wreck if we don't get the ship corrected. So we shall see. In a message to Arn, I did say this earlier. I did just check. I saw an email from you. But Arn, you wanted to send something. Just put everything you need to send in that email. Hit reply, and I will go handle it immediately today. So just drop it there. I'll handle it immediately, and I'll give you the thumbs up that it worked. That's my expectation based on speaking with them. So thank you again for your kind consideration. And if you provide me with the thing you need to provide me, I'll be able to take it there and handle it. Thank you for your consideration. Just shoot me the email with what you got, and we'll be good to go, sir. All right. Let's see. Susie says, remember Rochelle Walensky? Her employees didn't need to get V'd, but she told the whole country they had to be V'd. Adam Carolla says she lied just like Fauci. She should be held accountable, but instead she got a job at Harvard. She is compromised. Check out Friday's show, The Spain-vasion. Coming to America again if Democrats win. MAGA must weather the infighting to win. See, I'd rewrite that again, too. I shouldn't say win twice. But it sort of makes you think about winning, which I like. Okay, I think this is the same interaction we already shared with you from Fauci. Nevada Secretary of State Cisco Aguilar claims there is no evidence that non-citizens are registered to vote, despite the Democrat governor of New Jersey admitting 6,600 non-citizens were registered to vote. Why are Democrats turning a blind eye to fraud? Some say, like me, it might be the only way they could win anything anywhere because they're at about 19% approval rate and nobody likes them. John Lott says Ilhan Omar inspires the woman who will soon be Wisconsin's Democrat gubernatorial nominee. How much more extremist can you get? Democrat Francesca Hong says that Ilhan Omar, who said that America was one of the worst countries, inspires her. The Congresswoman has done a phenomenal job of showing what it looks like to lead with moral conviction and courage. I'm deeply inspired by Ilhan Omar. You America-hating weirdo, we vote against you. Newsmax says House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan on Sunday pressed Senate Republicans to end the standoff over acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's confirmation. Okay, where are we at? Can we get all of the people confirmed? Can we get all this confirmed? Can we get all of this confirmed? Arnold says, yeah, I'm not so into merch. It's just more stuff to fill my home with. Useless stuff. Money is the best way to eliminate clutter. Hey. All right. Works for me, brother. Brother On, that works for me. Yeah, I'm in the process of ramping a few things up with the reselling business. Follow us on Picking Winners on YouTube and on Whatnot. There's going to be a lot more happening. One of the things I do is I run a store, a general store in the pre-apocalyptic world. Ooh, I like that tagline. I run not the corner store, but like the trading post. Follow us on Picking Winners. We run the trading post in the pre-apocalyptic America. We run America's pre-apocalyptic trading post. But yeah, I have inventory. The only way it sells is to list it. So yeah, build your own bug out bag is coming. A couple other things coming. I'm pretty excited. So stay tuned and follow us in those places. But yeah, Jim Jordan says Senate foot dragging on Todd Blanche makes no sense. None of it makes sense. Replace John Thune already. Bill Maher asks, can you be gay in Gaza and live? Rula Jabrail says, yes, you can. Absolutely. You're comparing the majority of Muslim countries to places like Saudi Arabia. Bill Maher, is there a gay bar in Gaza? AI Overview says Hamas severely persecutes LGB, etc. individuals with documented actions, including arbitrary detention, brutal torture, and internal executions. While formal legal executions exclusively for homosexuality are rare or officially framed under other charges, internal security files and human rights reports confirm that Hamas targets and Ks members accused of same-sex relations. Anyway, it's a 4-minute clip. You should watch it. It's a back and forth. Just Bill Maher's had it trying to explain how Islamic supremacists merging in Western cultures, how it's not compatible. It's not upholding the values of our civil liberties. And yes, that means people you disagree with. In far too many reaches of Islamic extremism or Islamic supremacists, do as I say or else I will end your I will take your life. I've been commanded to wage jihad. It's far too common. It is a non-compatible ideology. Whereas in Christianity, you know, you can look at the book and say, well, it says this and it says that and it says this and it says that. You should probably, it doesn't get violent. Yeah, well, what about the Crusades? The Crusades were pushing back the Islamic Caliphate that was trying to conquer every square inch of the globe, much like you're seeing with these planned, fake, the Haitian invasions. What do they call it? The migrant crisis. They'll call it a crisis. This is all non-governmental organizations, nonprofits, governments, Islamic supremacists, Jewish family services. There's a whole laundry list of groups you could go look through. Maybe it was that group. Maybe it wasn't that group. Who knows? Lots of accusations where the funding, George Soros, Tides Foundation, where is the funding coming from? Neville, what's that guy's name? Chamberlain? Neville, is it Chamberlain? Who knows? But it's all astroturfed. It's not like they're fleeing as a refugee. No, they're trying to go get free stuff, conquer a nation. Look at England. Look at all the UK. Look at it. Look at Canada. Look at what's happened over the past 30 years intentionally to overthrow each sovereign nation with non-citizens. And Bill Maher's just had it. He's an atheist. It's sort of like he doesn't have skin in the game, but like this whole bending over backward for Islam to take over, and you get your enclave, and then you get your city council, and then you get your mayor, and then you get your governor, and then you conquer a whole state. Bill Maher calls out a lot of what's happening, and it's maybe not great for America. You be the judge. Watch the clip. Greg Gutfeld talking about COVID's biggest celebrity.
This was almost like Biden's brain. The media picked a side and they defended that side. And Fauci was just another Joe Biden. The rest of us rubes locked in our rooms because we're too stupid. And people died, and they died alone. Developed addictions and mental illnesses. Businesses were lost. Kids got dumber. All because this guy needed to protect his precious gain of function research. I'd blame it on bat soup, too, if I had this amount of blood on my hands. This was almost like Biden's brain.
And this is still being argued and debated. It's still being argued, I guess. Yeah. Damn that Fauci. But Gateway Pundit reports Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill announces Saturday that her office will be investigating Dr. Anthony Fauci to determine whether he committed any offenses that can be pursued under state law, joining similar efforts underway in Alabama and Florida. Please do. Politico says there's little to stop non-citizens from registering to vote if they want to, or even by mistake. Election officials believe that the number of non-citizens being added to the voter rolls is significantly higher than the 6,600 that Mickey Sherrill cited in New Jersey. Britt Hume says maybe it's time for commentators and politicians to stop scoffing at people worried about non-citizens voting in U.S. elections, right? Yeah, I concur. Mike Lee responds to that same Politico post. The chaos is the point. New Jersey and other, and by the way, okay, before I even read the rest of his thought, they want to allow it all, the Democrat deep state do, and then good luck getting it reversed. There's no reversing a vote once it's cast. Good luck. It'll go to court and they'll say you don't have jurisdiction. Well, who the hell does then? I don't know. Apparently nobody. No, you got to stop it before it becomes a cast vote, or we're going to be living in a caste society. Anyway, Mike Lee says the chaos is the point. New Jersey and other blue states with similar glaring election problems oppose any effort like the Save America Act to solve them. Why do you think this may be? Fox News Politics reporting Trump's demand to cancel August recess puts vulnerable Republican senators into impossible positions. Stay in D.C. pushing legislation that doesn't have the votes, or go home and face accusations of giving up on voter ID. Yeah, you stay and you get it done. You get the votes. What are we talking about? Get Murkowski on board. Say, Lisa, you've told us over and over you're worried about rural populations being disenfranchised. We will have a team of ATV people. We will put $1 billion into Alaska. We will go to every resident by hook or by crook. We will have a team deployed. We will hire part-time workers with very high hourly wages to go knock on doors and say, we will pay for your passport. We will pay for your real ID, whatever documentation is needed. We will find you. We will we will go to you. We will get everybody for free. We will pay for this. You can't then claim we don't have the money to the rural Alaskans will be disenfranchised. No, we'll pay for it all. Yeah, well, how will they even know? How will they get there? We will go there. She would have nothing else to bitch about and complain about and lie about. I think she's lying. Hold her feet to the fire. Say that the funding is there. Guys, if you don't get this Save America Act done, we are cooked. Because the wolf is knocking at the front door. Or the back door. What did Joe Biden say when the wolf is at the back door? Just aim it at the back door. Come on. You know the thing. Bang. Just aim it at the back door and fire out. Bang. You know the thing. Come on. You just aim at the back door. Okay. Fox News Politics continues. The GOP has more to lose than the Democrats do this cycle, with 3 vulnerable incumbents and several others on the periphery. Republicans openly acknowledge it's a math problem. They don't have the votes to pass the Save America Act. Then get them! And keeping the Senate in session likely won't change any minds. Senator Tom Tillis compared the move to the 2020 strategy that cost Republicans 2 Georgia Senate seats. Or cheating stole those 2 Senate seats. Is it possible? Holy shit. Pass the Save America Act and stop the stealing. Then you don't lose the vulnerable seats. Holy shit. Places like Fulton County, Georgia are now in play. Maricopa County, Arizona, now in play. Detroit, Michigan, now in play. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, now in play. Your big blue corrupt dirtbag deep state Democrat dastardly, that was the word I was looking for, strongholds. Go after them. Stop the mail-in crap. Vote in person. Show an ID. Done. Watch what happens with the legitimate tally at the end of all this. Watch what happens. Well, you know, it was this strategy that cost them in Georgia. Maybe it was something else that cost us those 2 Georgia Senate seats. 3 words came out at once. All of them stopped me saying Janet. Good grief. Sorry, I can't get through this article. It's setting me off. Senator John Cornyn calls it an act of futility, but admits if he were running for re-election, he'd vote to stay. How about stay, and on your way out, save the country, John Cornyn? Fix your reputation. You can't be so bought and sold and compromised that you can't go on the apology project and do the right thing here. Come on, Cornyn. Polymath says, I'm no RFK fan, but he's no more responsible for the measles outbreak in the U.S. than he is for the much worse measles outbreak in Canada. All right. Let's listen to how they're trying to demonize RFK Jr. here. This is kind of like their main thing on CNN. We need to know the worst arguments being made so you can know the retort to these.
The measles cases in the U.S. just reached a 35-year high. The second record-breaking year in a row, 93% of these cases are among the unvaccinated. The outbreak has happened on your watch. And even before becoming HHS secretary for years, you've been one of the leading voices questioning the efficacy of vaccines. Do you accept some responsibility for this measles outbreak?
Absolutely not. First of all, this is an international outbreak. And we're doing better at handling it than any country in the world. Mexico has 15 times the amount of measles per capita that we have. Canada has 4 times the amount of measles. England has 2 times the amount of measles. Did I cause those measles outbreaks?
You're the most famous.
Did he cause those? No. Come on.
It caused 137,000 cases.
You're the most famous vaccine skeptic on the planet.
Let me tell you.
Skeptic. She can't say researcher. It's skeptic. What is wrong with taking fraudulent information and identifying it as such? In demanding double-blind placebo studies, like, why the slander of you're a skeptic or you're a denier? Because you're lying to us, telling us that the science is settled, and we are far from that.
Because actually Anthony Fauci in his diaries answers the question about why we're having a measles outbreak right now. The reason we're having a measles outbreak because of the COVID lockdowns, because people children during that period did not get vaccinated. And in his diaries, he says this is going to cause massive outbreaks of measles and more children, he says this, are going to die. Let me finish, because you could accuse me of something. Now, let me.
No, I didn't. I asked you a question.
Yeah, let me give you the answer. He says in his diaries, more children are going to die from measles because of these lockdowns than COVID. So if you want to know, and that age group that should have gotten the MMR when they were 18 months and didn't get it, they're the ones being infected. The people in this country, and we have stopped the outbreaks at record speed in South Carolina, in Texas, in Utah, in Virginia. We've done better than any country in the world. I dispatch immediately the epidemic intelligence services to those states. I get on the phone with the governor and we stop them in their tracks. Nobody else has been able to do that.
You have a bully pulpit.
Let me tell you just one last thing.
Go ahead.
The communities that are suffering from measles are almost all religious communities that just don't vaccinate. The Mennonites have not vaccinated since 1796, since Edward Jenner invented the smallpox vaccine. It's hard to blame that on me as much as you want to blame
No, I don't want to blame you. I'm
Yes, you do want to blame him. Stop it.
asking you because you have a very powerful voice on these issues for people who are skeptical. Let me finish. Let me finish.
And I've never questioned the efficacy of the MMR vaccine.
Okay, so he's saying MMR. He's never questioned the efficacy of that. Reminder, everybody hit the thumbs up button, share the show with a friend, subscribe to our The Agree to Disagree Show podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Yeah, and you flood the country with 40 million illegal aliens, bringing God knows what with God knows what vaccination rates, and God knows what diseases with them. That's the number one thing. You check you check the health. It's a process. You don't just get to run roughshod. You don't just get to run through the gates at the football game and get to go sit and watch the football game. You got to, good grief, you got to have a ticket. And to get a ticket, you got to qualify. In order to qualify, health, wealth, criminal history, mentality, all of the things. You got to check that stuff. Yeah, they're just trying so hard to demonize RFK.
The measles.
Andrew Wilkow says it's not happening. About New Jersey's non-citizen voter registration. They say it's not happening. Okay, it's happening, but it's not widespread. What do you mean anyone can register to vote in New Jersey? Anyone. We are cooked if we don't pass the Save America Act. Cooked, I tells ya. Fix it. Breitbart says, not surprisingly, Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom blamed President Donald Trump for a $4 billion cut to get California's troubled high-speed train project. Instead, records show the state never bought the trains required to get the money. Gavin is a sociopath. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Newsom will not be the choice. Oh, DNC. They pre-select their puppets, and you won't be the one. AOC is running too, and sometimes she is fun. This is the song that never ends. As this goes on and on, my friends. And there's that. Then there's that. Okay, well, Gavin, if you don't buy the trains required because you didn't lay the track, then you can't complain about the money you didn't get. The Jerry Brown Doggle, the train to nowhere. This train should have went to Vegas. It would have been the most brilliant idea. Having lived in Los Angeles for 15 years and been back and forth to Vegas many different times, a train would be perfect for a bullet train. Straight up that way. Instead of it being a 3.5 to 7 hour drive, because depending on traffic, it could be twice as bad. Brutal. Death Valley. 130 degrees out there. You're like, ugh. That's where you need a train. No jokes about a train in Vegas, by the way. Okay, you can make some jokes. James O'Keefe says Lennox convenience. Remember the store that they caught red-handed that was selling drugs on EBT benefits, using a cloned terminal, committing merchant identity fraud, has officially closed down and cleared the entire store out. It's just 2 days after video exposed them. Look at that. Drug and alcohol purchases as EBT cash and EBT food. Thanks for exposing that. That shouldn't be happening. Gateway Pundit reports BLM rioters in Wisconsin threatened to cage journalists Nick Sortor and Karlin Borisenko while preventing them from leaving the area and attacking their car with vomit. Can we never get some police to make some pretty basic arrests? Why are we letting these crazy mobs just go about their way? Wisconsin that time. Republicans put this out. The USA is locked and loaded and ready to go against the Islamic Republic of Iran at levels of military terror, strength, and power not seen since before World War I. Despite this, we have just been asked by Iran and other Middle Eastern countries, says President Donald J. Trump, to hold off any attack in that the perimeters of a deal have been agreed to. This would include the immediate, complete, and total opening of the Hormuz Strait. This is such a broken record. And an end to Iran's nuclear threat. Broken record. Based on this request, I have agreed for the future benefit of the world and likewise the survival of a successful and prosperous Iran to cancel the attack, subject to being able to rapidly make a deal. The country of Israel joins me in this commitment. I don't know if that's helping your cause, President Trump. Get to work, everybody, and get it done. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. People have Trump derangement syndrome. People have Israel derangement syndrome. Not sure working them in is like they're on board with this. I don't know. Negotiate it, finish it. Just drop the price of oil. Call a real ceasefire. Call it a day. Move along. This thing looming in the midterms is no bueno. I don't like it. And I don't like it that it's part of the Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, anti-Israel, anti-United States partnership with Israel, talking point, sledgehammer during an Iranian war, undeclared, by the way. Congress is supposed to declare that. This is not good for the Republican brand, the MAGA brand, being cheerfully described as MEGA, make Israel great again. These are not good talking points for the splintering of the Republican Party. Whether those accusations are fair or fucked up and bullshit, whatever you want to think, it's okay. You can have both opinions. I've spoken with plenty of smart people that hold both of those opinions at the same time. It's not good for the Republican chance in the midterm. Defeating the Democrats needs to be everybody's job number one. Can you hold your nose and deal with Iran until you get through it? Hoping on the other side this will resolve. Some can and some can't. But the only way you're going to keep that flame, you got to stamp out the flame that's currently there, or else it's going to eat more of the forest in a forest fire. Anyway, we'll see. Gina Bina Fofina says Senator James Lankford just confirms that the Senate may skip the August recess to finish the Save America Act. If we don't get it done this week, we're going to keep going until we do get it done. Steve Ferguson says it seems they are finally getting the message, hopefully. Jim Jordan talking with Dana Bash. God, Dana Bash is everywhere. Why is she everybody's sweetheart? But he has thoughts on Todd Blanche. Jim Jordan.
Todd Blanche needs to be confirmed. I've been in Congress now 19 years. I've never had an attorney general that I could work with like Todd Blanche. I think he's doing an outstanding job. And even Senator Tillis and Senator Cornyn have said he's highly qualified. So they should confirm this guy because he's doing bringing down crime, going after the fraudsters who've been ripping off American tax dollars. Todd's doing a great job. He needs to be confirmed, and let's hope it happens soon.
So we shall see. And then maybe that's just her thing. Every time I pause it, she's doing this. Roll back the videotape. I admit, I don't watch cable news. I don't give a shit what these spokesholes have to say. I really don't. I mean, as I find things interesting bits of conversation, I'll play some clips, but I am not going to sit and get brainwashed by their brand of garbage. But yeah, roll back the videotape. Her face, the big heavy eyelids. It's sort of her thing. And I keep ending up with that image of her. Another liberal elitist wonders why a Marxist communist leftist who he funded and worked for has turned on him. They always go after the useful idiots, you dope. You never trust a Marxist. You never trust a communist. You never trust a Stalinist. You never trust a Leninist. A socialist, a democratic socialist, a Democrat, a deep stater, a globalist. You never trust them because they will use you as a useful idiot and throw you out in the trash.
And I've been doxxed.
Scott Galloway, who's been doxxed.
You've been doxxed? What? Tell me.
So I don't know if you've heard, but Mayor Mamdani has decided to release a list of the 950,000 residences with addresses and names that might be eligible for his pied-à-terre tax. I came out in
Pied-à-terre tax? Like some new tax?
In favor of this tax. This is the definition. He's taken a legitimate source of tax revenue and he's turning it into a wanted poster. And the question I would have is, other than trying to identify and imply these people have done something wrong, and then 18 months after a healthcare CEO was executed in the street and then published the list, what is the upside here? Why is he doing this? And I've been doxxed.
Why?
You've been
because they know exactly what they're doing. That's why. It's threats and intimidation. That's the Democrat brand. That's why you don't vote Democrat anywhere ever. Marx says you never trust a Zionist and that communism is Zionism. Can you expand on that? Can you expand on that? But yeah, Marxism, the Bolshevik Revolution, Israel, 1913, Federal Reserve, Anti-Defamation League, income tax, Zionism and Marxism, communism, socialism, globalism. There's Venn diagrams of impact and how this is all connected or not connected. I don't know. But yeah, Scott Galloway's surprised that he's getting doxxed right after there was an assassination of a healthcare CEO. Don't be surprised, pal. Can't be surprised. You never get in bed with the snakes. You knew I was a snake. Or what was that one? A turtle and a scorpion? Well, surely you wouldn't sting me on our way across the river, because then if you sting me, I drown, which means you drown. Halfway across the river. What did you do that for? I'm tensing up. I have the venom in my veins, and I'm gonna go catatonic, and I'm gonna sink, and you're gonna sink with me. Because you knew I was a scorpion. That's what we do. We sting. Never trust a Marxist, communist, socialist. Never. Trump administration has worked with states to cancel 28,000 illegally issued driver's licenses and shuts down 9,500 driving schools that helped put these dangerous truckers on America's roads. That's something good. This would not be happening under Kamala Harris. No, President Trump is just the same as the others. It's one big deep state. He's all part of it. This is a big mess that's getting cleaned up. I want this big mess cleaned up. I can have issues with foreign policy. I can have issues with budgets. I can have issues with all sorts of things and still say at least some of these this is a big problem. Anytime you're on the road and there's a big rig, they might not be able to speak the language, understand the road signs. They might have been not have been properly trained, proper oversight, safety precautions. Like this is, I want the monuments restored. I want the illegals off from behind the wheel of a big rig. Secure border, checking backgrounds, arresting bad guys, making it so you can just have a safe, healthy existence again. None of that was happening under Biden. We can't let Job number one has to be voting against the Democrats with the next most likely person that can win that race. It's not to throw your vote away on a libertarian. And in between, you got to work to get the most ideologically aligned people in the Republican Party to win those positions in the primaries. Every 2 years, this process can improve. Not perfect. But I'm happy. 28,000 illegally issued driver's licenses. 9,500 driving schools helping put these dangerous truckers on the road. They've canceled and shut down, according to Breitbart. Cancels 28,000.
That you need.
Senator Rand Paul says, here's a walk down memory lane. We'll end on this one. I could keep going for a while, but we'll end on this one. A walk down memory lane exposing the many lies that Fauci told that harm the American people in the world. How about this one? We'll end on this one. And by the way, last call, I'm going to be clocking out in a second here. I'm going to slide the tab to you here at lunch. Thank you for coming to the New American Media's TNAM Daily Show. If you like what's going on, please consider going to Patreon at The New American Media, Rumble, The New American Media, YouTube, The New American Media, and clicking subscribe, linking up a credit card, and for as little as $5 a month, you can become a regular sponsor to the program. Different dollar amounts, 1,500, 1,000. There's different levels. As little as $5 a month, $60 a year. You can just help out a news source that's trying their damnedest to rifle through the rubbish and make sense of this stuff. We encourage mostly civil debate. We don't have to be an echo chamber for anything. I don't answer to anyone. I don't get a script. I'm scrolling through social media with you, trying to share the stories that are breaking. If you want to drop a one-time Rumble rant or super chat, go ahead and click that on Rumble or YouTube. Thank you to everybody. We want to start August off nice and strong. This is our very first show of the month, so please consider doing so. If you want some merch, got the $100 deal. Got the mug, 2 sets of 4 Ohio-made wooden coasters, and a The Unhappy Hour Sports Show pin for $100. Shoot it on Venmo to Brian Engelman, BrianEngelman, and tell me your address. Say, send me the loot. Put it in the chat. Special thanks to Sam for ordering that special on Friday. $115 worth for $100. Your donation means the world. It helps keep the lights on over here. It helps pay that $780 vet bill for Mr. Bean, because this is my job, folks. I stand out here playing guitar with the guitar case open. If you like what you're seeing, I bartend. I work off tips. So if any of you get some fun or chuckles or continuity or community or information or consternation, for whatever reason, toss it in the tip jar. I can only keep playing if people are throwing coins in. So, yeah, Venmo and Cash App is my name, Brian Engelman, and PayPal is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. All scrolling at the bottom of the screen. This will be our last story, our supercut clip of Anthony Fauci telling us the not-so-truthful truth.
Meta-analysis studies show that, contrary to what we thought, masks really do work in preventing infection.
No doubt.
So no doubt.
So when you find out you were wrong, you don't double down.
People should not be walking around with masks.
They should not be walking around with masks. See, that was when masks were in short supply and we needed to get as many as we could, and we needed to grab them from the people that had them.
You're sure of it because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
Right now, the message is the vaccines are very effective in preventing serious disease. So the data are very, very clear that A, you need a booster.
Need a booster. So you take the thing, it's not actually a one-stop, one-shot vaccine anymore. Now we're changing the definition. You need this stuff in perpetuity. Maybe a couple of them. I don't know. Kind of figuring it out as we go.
Nature of those viruses that was studied were evolutionarily so far distant from what turned out to be SARS-CoV-2 that no matter what you did with those viruses, you would not be able to do that. Obviously, there are two possibilities that are being entertained. And I think we need to keep a completely open mind until we have definitive proof.
Dr. Fauci, did you?
Huh. Yeah, maybe that's the mentality we needed from the jump, from minute one. Instead of telling us you represent the science, we're telling you what things are, and we're going to shut you down on social media through government coercion if you allow people to have a robust conversation. It's not up to anyone to tell you what's misinformation or disinformation or malinformation. It's causing vaccine hesitancy. Is that a word? Vaccine hesitancy. They didn't keep an open mind. They demonized ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. They lied to us about the efficacy. They lied to us about transmission, lied about a 6 feet separation, all of it. Man, Fauci is just...
Did you delete any emails or records related to the Wuhan lab or the origins of the virus?
No, I did not.
Delete them out. Please read the voicemail.
I am very happy to testify before any congressional oversight committee. I have nothing to hide. On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
Oh, look at this guy in the back with the glasses. He's pissed off like I was. He's shaking his head like, are you kidding me? Just see, he's got his eyebrows raised. I never saw this guy before. This guy's me sitting there. If I would have been there, that dude's me.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights.
He almost dropped an F-bomb, right? Oh, you gotta be.
Under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. I have not been misleading the American public under any circumstances.
Yeah. We see you, Fauci. We see you. Not sure where it goes from here. But I can tell you tomorrow we'll be back at noon Eastern time, rifling through the rubbish, trying to separate the fake news from fact. What is this? President Trump confirms he made no new concessions to rhinos John Cornyn and Tom Tillis to get Todd Blanche imminently confirmed. So is he? Agreed to reconfirm things, he said, and that's okay. Todd Blanche is great. I understand there's been a sign-off. So is Blanche in now? Did you sign off on Todd Blanche rescinding? What is it? Okay, John Cornyn, Tom Tillis, and now. Hey, okay, hold on a second here. Before we go, and I do like to just double check if there's anything breaking. All right, I'll show you one more. Let me pull up. Let's get this report on Todd Blanche. I mean, having a functional attorney general is key if we want to see some indictments and we want to see some changes. This is huge. And a lot of us were not too thrilled with Pam Bondi by any damn stretch of the imagination. Let's take a look at the latest with Todd Blanche.
Now we've got some breaking news. 2 Republican senators have now reached a deal with acting Attorney General Todd Blanche at the...
Okay. If Cornyn and Tillis can reach an agreement on Todd Blanche, can't we reach an agreement on the Save America Act? Come on. Yes, we can. Si se puede. Yes, we can.
Center. And it paves the way for Blanche's confirmation. Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis had previously opposed Blanche's confirmation over the Justice Department's anti-weaponization fund. In a statement just moments ago, Cornyn and Tillis said that the Department of Justice provided a formal order terminating that fund. They added that they look forward to voting to advance Blanche's nomination out of the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee soon. That is movement on an area that there was none just a few days ago. And will that kind of get the levers inside the Senate for them to be able to do other things? We're watching all of it right now. And by the way, they go on recess. Will that mean that? Hold on, let me play that last part one more time. For them to be able to do other things days ago. And will that kind of get the levers inside the Senate for them to be able to do other things? We're watching all of it right now. And by the way, they go on recess pretty soon, so we are closely watching. This was a decision that they made very quickly. Now we've got some. All right. I think you can whip the votes and get the Senate to pass the Save America Act. Stop playing around, people.
Joker Poker talking about the Torah and Second Covenant, facts, feelings, lies. Yeah, I know some people talk about the Talmud that says really rough stuff in there. And we'll sometimes confuse the word Talmud with Torah. But yeah, that's what we're at, having conversations in the comments section. Appreciate every one of you for being here today. So keep your head on a swivel. Go get some training this week. Level up your lives. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. All right? Signing out on behalf of the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.